have a question for men in New York City. Why is no one making the effort to offer their seat to a woman? I have been appalled lately getting on the subway and seeing a number of elderly women, pregnant women, women with children, women that are obviously struggling to carry a lot of things, and no man offers their seat for them. I was on my way home from work yesterday and there was a row full of men, right? This woman walks onto the train. She has her work bag, a garment bag, and her hands are full of other bags. So one of these men gets off at the next stop and there's this other girl that's standing right next to her. She's just carrying her work bag. Before she sits down, she makes the effort to say to the girl, hey, do you want to sit down? You have a ton of stuff. It's like, no, it's fine. We are surrounded by men. None of them look at her. None of them flinch. It was disturbing to me. And I don't understand if it's that men simply just don't care, but it's etiquette. As a man, you should offer your seat to a woman, especially someone that you know is struggling or is definitely older. Sorry if it seems like I'm being a man hater. I certainly think I'm not, but you all need to do better.
I was just approached by a man in the most respectful way that I actually was not opposed to. I have to share this. So I had actually noticed him. I was in Target. I was in the back of a store and I had noticed him, but we didn't even make eye contact or anything. So this is maybe 10 minutes later, front of the store, and I hear from behind me, "Miss." And so I turn around, I see that's him. And he says, "Can I just say, you look so elegant." And so I turned around and I said, "Elegant?" And he said, "Yeah, that dress is amazing on you." And I said, what did I say? I think I said like, "Oh, thank you. That's so sweet." And without skipping a beat, he said, "Of course, you deserve it." Girl. Okay, it was the combination of the miss. We love leading with the miss. Don't ever hit me with a ma'am, baby. I am too young for a ma'am. And then the "can I just say," okay, not aggressive at all, like very just polite, respectful. "Can I just say," and then the use of the word elegant. I don't know if I've ever received that as a compliment by a stranger like before. I love that. It wasn't just saying you're very beautiful or something, like you look very elegant. Loved that. And then best part about it though was when I said, "That's so sweet, thank you," he said without skipping a beat, "Of course you deserve it." Like chef's kiss, 10 out of 10. Girls, can we all agree? Like that was good. And then there wasn't any pressure too. It was like he was just wanted to pay me that compliment, and then and that was what it was. I didn't feel there were people around too. I also have had and this even happened to me actually the other week, where a guy literally followed me on 3 different aisles in a store. It was a different store, and then came up to me and complimented me. And it was just by that point I felt so uncomfortable, and it was nobody else was around. It was weird. If you're gonna approach a girl in public, that's the way to do it in my book. I don't know, what do you guys think? In my opinion, 10 out of 10, you've got it down, sir. So many very angry men in these comments, and this video taking off is hilarious to me because I am not at all claiming to be an authority. I'm a 28-year-old woman dealing with the single male population for the first time ever. I married the first guy I ever kissed when I was 20 years old. Okay. But as far as rejecting him, I didn't outright reject him. He didn't ask for my phone number or anything like that. I did pick up on the energy of, I think that's the direction he was headed in, and I don't think that I responded in a way that would have portrayed being open to that. Again, learning how to deal with these situations for the first time ever, okay? Very new to me. But I did take the compliment. It did make me feel good. It did boost my ego a little bit. I was so impressed that I came on and shared it. And there are a lot of angry men, just that made me feel good, and then I talked about it, and I don't understand that. Why is this an L for him? Why is it so transactional? Why is it that a man pays an unsolicited compliment? Yes, it landed. I took it as a compliment, but why is there this assumption that he is owed something for that? I don't get it.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep it all the way a buck. Sometimes I do be feeling bad for them because they really are expected to just dish out all their money for a woman, and no questions asked. You gonna take care of me, you gonna provide because you a man. That's what you're supposed to do. But girl, this is number 8 on your roster. You're not taking him seriously. You're expecting all these high expectations for him, and he not even one, not the 2 on your list. Girl, certain things are reserved for if that's your person. And I feel yes, a man should absolutely love to and be excited to protect and provide for his woman. But for just some blow Joe off the street who's just expecting him to be in the role of a provider, that is so unfair. They take advantage, and I feel bad for men. I do.
Day 1 of rejection therapy. I'm so nervous, but I want to get out of my comfort zone, so That's just fat back there.
What are you talking about?
That's just fat back there.
My butt?
Yeah.
You saying my butt is fat?
I'm just joking with you. But did you want? Can you put your number in my phone? Can you put your number in my phone?
Yeah, I guess.
Cause I want to do some things to that shit.
Like what?
I'm joking, but put your number.
Oh, okay.
So you from here?
Yeah. I'm kind of scared. Are you sure you're joking though? Like.
No. I mean, are you into that type of stuff?
No, I'm not.
But you put your number in my phone.
Cause
I'll let you know. Bye.
Be careful, bro. It's a trap. Don't let her waste your time.
Most women don't understand why men are extremely critical and choosy of the woman that he gets with. Your image can literally make or break him, okay? When a man walks into a room with a beautiful girl, everybody want to know who that man is. Like, what does he do? Oh my God. If she's respectful, isn't seen a lot of places, classy, nobody has access to her, oh my God, that man gets respected, probably gets invited to a lot more places. When a woman is for the streets or a lot of men have access to her, that man gets disrespected, gets invited to less places. His girl will even get passes by his own friends, okay? Like Kanye, when he got with Kim K, a lot of us lost a lot of respect for him, okay? So a woman's image can make or break a man, okay? That's why they're like, oh, I don't want to date a stripper. I don't want to be with a girl who has... Yes, because who you are will literally make or break who he is.
Ladies, if you're screaming that you hate men and then simultaneously want a provider man, I have a very harsh reality check for you. No man's gonna like you, let alone a provider man who wants to ride for his woman, okay? That attitude, that narrative drives me insane. If you genuinely believe that all men are trash and all men are liars, cheaters, scammers, whatever, insert adjective there, that's exactly what you're gonna attract. That is exactly what you're gonna attract. I do not hang out with women who scream that narrative. All men suck, men are trash. Get away from me. Maybe in your reality, sure, but in my reality, there are a lot of wonderful men in this world. Okay? So please, I beg of you, sisters, get out of that mentality. Especially if you want a nice guy. Why would you sit there and be like, all men suck, all men are trash, and then think that you're gonna attract a nice man? Okay? You're not gonna attract any man with that attitude, let alone a provider. Okay? Jesus. I say this with peace and love, of course, okay?
Think about it. Why would women who are terrible at relationships have good outcomes from relationships? When we're talking about all the dating content, all the story times we hear from women and how they're having these terrible experiences, ask yourself, what if she's terrible? Why would she get a good outcome if she's terrible? We have to flip this narrative and stop believing these story times. And also what this young lady says in the video, if you are screaming this way, if you're, I don't need a man and this man and men are like this and men is like that, why would that energy attract a good man? It would not. Your whole energy is off. The energy you're giving off is what you attract. So if you're attracting terrible men all the time, that means you're doing something wrong. That means your energy is off. And this what you need to do, what this young lady does in her video, or says she does in her video, and that is don't surround yourself around women like this and watch your pool of men or the outcomes you're having with men change. Just try.
A dude in the comments said women in San Francisco actually put feminism as an interest in their dating profiles. I don't know why you would do that. How many men are going to look at that and be like, you know what? that really strikes a chord with me. That feminism there, that just makes me go, that sends me over the edge. I'm ready to marry her right now.
Cheated on my man and it wasn't worth it. Do you know how much of a loser I feel like? I wasted my cheating points. I'm nothing.
I hope you guys already know this, but when you go on a first date, you know that, like, your only job as a woman is to put on makeup, put on a cute outfit, show up with a smile on your face. That one's optional. I'm just kidding. Of course, show up with a good attitude, but those are really your only 3 tasks. That's your only job. Like, meaning your job is not to make the reservation, okay? Your job is not to worry about how you're gonna get there. So either he picks you up, if you're not comfortable with that, he gets you an Uber, and if you're not comfortable with that, or if that's not something that he's even like floating the idea of, is buying you an Uber, that's fine, but he at the very least needs to tell you like what time to call the Uber so that you are there at the same time as him or after him. You don't want to be there before him. It's also not your job to pay for the date. It's not your job to pay for the date. I'm not going to argue anyone on this one. Like, I'm blocking you if you try to argue with me on that one. That's insane. I really think that one of the keys to a good first date is both parties knowing their role. And when both parties know their role and their job and do their job well, everyone's happy.
But I guess the question for a lot of men is, what is the role of a woman? Because it seems like more often than not, there's a lot of women out here like actually doing nothing. Like they just, some of them don't even look cute. So makeup or not. So it's like the man, nah, I ain't gonna say that. All right, y'all get.
When my marriage was falling apart with my ex-wife, I was required by her to go to a therapist. This was non-negotiable. If I did not go to a therapist, she was going to file for divorce immediately. So I found a therapist local in my area. I made an appointment. He took my insurance and I went. At my first session, I sat down, I met the guy. He looked like the dad from Family Ties, like exactly like him. And we talk about my marriage, my relationship with my son, who was 2 at the time, her son, my stepkid, that was 8 or 9, her parents, her friends, and it was an hour and it was fine. My ex-wife was impressed. I actually went. She didn't think I was going to do it. So the second week was more the same, not much different. But at the end of the second session, the therapist was like, next week, I would like to see your wife and you together. See if you can make that happen. So I go home and I tell her, and she's like, absolutely. I can't wait. I will absolutely come with you. So I'm like, okay, great. She's got a lot to get off her chest, right? So the third session starts. The 2 of us are on the couch, and the therapist is asking her questions. He's not asking me anything. He's like, well, why do you think your husband has a problem with your friends? She goes, well, you know, I work with these people, and then, you know, once we're off the clock, we go out on a Saturday night or a Friday night, and when I call him and tell him I'm not going to be home till 2:30, he gets upset and tells me I'm not his, you know, he's not my babysitter, because he's not just watching our kid, but he's watching my kid, and I don't appreciate that. And he's like, well, you can kind of see his point. You are a married woman. And I'm like, oh. And you could see the steam coming out of her ears. And every other thing that he was talking to her about or bringing up, he was basically taking my side in. And I'm like shaking my head. I'm like, you gotta stop. Like, stop this. You're gonna get me in trouble. So the session ends, and we're walking out in the parking lot. She goes, I don't know where you found him, but he's a quack. I'm not coming back here again. Matter of fact, you probably know this guy somehow, some way. And this was a setup. And the marriage was officially over 5 weeks later.
Some of these women out here, man, they be on their worst behavior. They be on their worst behavior. And they expect you to try to do everything in your power to fix it. Oh, you need to do this. You need to do that. Some of these women out here, it's rules for thee and not for me. A man will waste time, energy, money, resources trying to fix something that really, honestly and truly is not his fault. And the whole time the woman is making him feel guilty as if he did something wrong.
One time I was talking to a man and he goes, I love when I'm talking to a girl and like there aren't other guys that are like, oh, I've hit that, or like, oh, I've cracked that. And I was like, oh no, I 100% agree. And he goes, wait, really? I said, yeah. I hate when the man I'm talking to isn't a virgin. And he goes, oh, I mean, that's not what, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. Don't you have any morals?
I guess I don't understand. If a man is like, I don't want anybody coming up to me and saying, just by the way, I had your girl, or I cracked that, or I hit that, who would want to know that? You wouldn't. It wouldn't be something that you'd be like, oh yeah, go ahead and tell me. You might know instinctively, or there might be things that are done, but I think you need to be respectful of your man and your woman to say, hey, even if there's some chemistry there and we just gotta be around each other, I'm gonna make sure that I'm not all over him or doing anything that could be perceived as us trying to go in a certain direction. It's just mutual respect. You wouldn't like to find out that your guy is under an Instagram model's page or any woman's page, that he's got women in his phone saved in his camera roll. You wouldn't like to see that or hear that because you would feel it was disrespectful. So I don't know what the back and forth about this is. They say stuff and they think that, oh yeah, this sounds good. It's really going to eat him up. It's really going to hit him. But honestly and truly, I didn't even read it as him wanting a virgin. I just read it as, you're not all around town. Like, you're showing some sort of control, right? You might have been with a guy here or a guy there, but modern women today are really out here, just out in the street doing whatever. And they expect a man to look over that. They expect a man to look past that. And when a guy says, man, I'm really happy, it's the same thing as when you say to him, I really appreciate that you give me some flowers. I really appreciate that you pay for the date. I really appreciate that you picked me up, right? You walked me to my house. You made sure that everything goes okay. You didn't try to get touchy-feely. I like a man like that. I like a man that respects me. He respects my space. This man has integrity. I really respect that. That would be fine. I like a man that he doesn't allow his eyes to wander. He only focuses on me. I like a man that's not out here touching on every woman and trying to get with every woman and on the dating apps talking about, oh, I ain't with nobody, and he laid up with me. I don't like a man like that. It's the same thing. Am I missing something? Like, I guess I don't understand.
The male mind is so funny. I was out with one of my guy friends recently. He saw a beautiful woman. He goes, I think that's my wife. And I said, you should go talk to her. He goes, no. And he was too afraid. And so these amazing women just don't get approached. And it's such a shame. So encourage your male friends to be brave.
All y'all women know that the men that y'all like the most are not monogamous men. So why do y'all keep playing games with each other?
I never really got cheated on. That's my personal.
Ain't no monogamous alpha male.
I don't know.
Very few.
I have never been cheated on, honestly. Not that I know of.
You may not have, but
I might have, but he did good because I don't know.
The ideal man that most women describe, that man is not a monogamous creature.
Yeah, he's not made for one woman.
Even if he was, right? Because let's say we got a lot of monogamous men. Okay. There's not enough. Listen, there's not enough heterosexuals to go around.
Yeah.
There's not enough heterosexuals. Y'all gonna have to share. No, listen.
But y'all don't have to share?
Listen why. The reason why you don't have to share, Mona, because you're still young and gorgeous. Every sister in this room is still young and gorgeous. But you know what the problem is?
What?
30 years from now, you'll still be gorgeous.
I'm gonna be old, though.
But guess what? I don't want you at 60 living and dying by yourself.
Right. Pumping my own gas.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm seeing too many queen mothers living by them. I don't want to see no queen die and nobody was by her bedside to give her one last hug and one last kiss. And the older y'all get, the less y'all going to be so concerned about the monogamy anyway. That's a young woman's game. When you hit your 50s and 60s, it's more transactional. It's more operational. As long as he ain't bringing me no diseases and ain't bringing me no problems and no extra babies, we good. I'm just saying black women are setting yourselves up for romantic disappointment if you're saying that you're going to find a man and keep him all to yourself.
Imagine being divorced for 10 years, living life, a peaceful life, when your now grown daughter comes to you crying, saying, Mom, I'm so sorry. My stepdad never did touch me. Dad put me up to it because he was trying to get back with you. What's your response?
There was actually a man on one of these dating shows. I think it might have been Pop the Balloon or something like that, where he liked the woman. She was, I think he said she was attractive or something like that. I can't really remember, but she had a daughter, or maybe two. She had a daughter, and they were just before the match. She pulled him out of line and she brought him to the front and said, okay, any final questions? And the woman was like, nope, I'm pretty much sold on him. And he said, I do want to go ahead and pop because, I'm thinking about it now. You have daughters. It's a really sticky subject. It's just, there's some things that can be said, some things that can be done, especially with daughters. And what was funny about it is, or I shouldn't say funny in like haha, but like funny and like weird, is that there were women in the comments and even the poster. He was a guy, but he was talking about, how the man was essentially calling himself out. He was essentially exposing himself as a predator in so many words. Why would he say that? Why would he act like that? That's weird. He just outed himself. Men always telling himself. And I was trying to think of why they went all the way to him being a registered offender. I was like, how did we get from him saying, I just not really comfortable with that situation, especially with young ladies. I don't want there to be any type of mix up or anything. So I'm just going to bow out respectfully. How do we get to him being a predator? Somebody who is in there touching on people that he shouldn't be touching on. This is what a lot of men are talking about right here. This is the situation where I come in, I'm trying to be the best that I can be, right? I'm trying to do what I can for your daughters and you and to provide and protect for the home. And I understand, to be fair, it's not, I wouldn't say it was vast majority. I don't want to go out there and assume that. Maybe it is, but I don't want to assume. But there's a lot of men that are like, it's just not worth it for me to go out here and date and to run into this, where as a stepfather, you saying that the baby daddy's out of the picture, I don't got to worry about him. And then I actually don't have to worry about him. I have to worry about surviving in prison because somebody falsely accused me at the behest of her father, who was upset with you, and you had me step in the middle of that stuff. Who wants to do that? Men in the comments said she owes a man an apology. She knew better. I see why some men, this is actually a woman. I see why some men won't date women with daughters. Exactly. It was a woman that said that. So
I downloaded the T app to see what all the hype is about. I have no business on there, but I wanted to mind everybody else's business. So I finally get in 3 days later. I'm scrolling through a list of men I'll never meet, never want to know, and don't give a f about. But I'm like, let me read these comments, because as soon as somebody got 18 red flags, I need to read the comments to see what the fuck's going on around me. But none of this is my business, and I should have never downloaded the app to begin with. I am more embarrassed for the women than I am the men on that actual app. Big ups to the women that post like, yes, he's abusive. I have there's a warrant against him for abusing me, blah, 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 blah. Like that, those are the type of things I expect to see on an app. I was just being nosy. But I'm reading the comments and y'all talking about does he fuck good? Does he fuck good? I don't give a fuck about that. You talk about does he good? Okay. Does he good on the T app? Stand the fuck up. Y'all should be embarrassed. That is embarrassing. I wish I could see y'all face. Because I need it. Y'all little girls, like, what is going on? This man got 30 red flags. You talk about does he? I gotta delete this app.
Ladies, for real. It's time for us to start humbling these guys respectfully, okay? Because these guys think that they can just come up and talk to anybody any type of way because this is what they're used to and no female has really put them in their place or checked them respectfully. Like, I'm tired of getting approached thinking I'm these other females because I'm not, okay? Far from it, all right? So let's do better, okay? Because we deserve way more than what they're trying to give us.
just turn the camera off and be quiet. Nobody wants to hear this foolishness and negativity.
This is how you do not plan a freaking date.
Wow, with that energy, it sounds like a horror story. I can't wait to hear it.
I am here, gonna show you with receipts.
And you brought receipts? This is gonna be so good. I can't wait.
I had been on one date with this man. I think this guy is great. I had such a nice time with him. We had so much fun. We had a lot in common. I could not wait to go on a second date with him.
Ooh, I'm invested. You went out with him, enjoyed it. You told your girlies you were excited to go out with him, couldn't wait to see him again. He must have ruined this.
A week or so later, he finally texts me and is like, hey, are you free Sunday for brunch? I'm like, yeah, great.
Hey, good for you. You were excited to go out with him again, and now you've got plans to do brunch on Sunday. Like, what could have gone wrong?
That Saturday night, he sends me this text, are you still up for brunch?
Good for him. So he's solidifying the plans that he made with you earlier in the week for brunch on Sunday.
Yes, I'm still up for brunch.
Your energy shifted. You don't seem very happy that he's trying to solidify the plans that he made with you earlier in the week about Sunday. Am I reading this wrong?
I could come your way if you know a good spot.
I like this guy. He's asking if there's a place near you so that you don't have to travel as far, and he's gonna also make sure that you enjoy the food at the place where you're gonna go for brunch. Smooth tactics, man.
Okay, let me do the heavy lifting for you, buddy.
What? Huh?
So I give him a list of these places.
Perfect. Now he knows there is food near you that you like. All right.
He says, oh, the Dutch Eye. Not even sure what that means.
I read that differently. I read, oh, the Dutch, like this place is fire. And if you didn't understand him, why didn't you just say that to him?
So then that morning, I get a text from him, howdy, how does two sound?
Okay, so he's still just trying to solidify the plans that he made with you earlier in the week.
I never heard back from him the night before.
Hold up. What do you mean you didn't hear back from him? The last thing that was texted the night before was him saying, ooh, the Dutch, you're the one showing the receipts. You left him on read.
So what do I say? Oh, when I didn't hear back last night about a reservation or anything concrete, I made plans for this afternoon.
Wait, what? Huh? I'm so confused.
You cannot, for a second date, try and make plans the morning of.
He didn't. Your whole entire story and your receipts show that he didn't try just the morning of. You said he texted earlier in the week, and then on Saturday, he tried to solidify. You left him on read, and so he's texting you Sunday morning. What?
And so what is his response? Okay, cool.
That would have been my response there. Okay, cool.
He, I think, got the point.
He for sure got the point. I don't think you do, though. I love this story.
You missed out is what happened. Sorry.
I think he's good.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I really enjoy her stories. I know most of them are probably not gonna end well. But she tells them with such enthusiasm that you're like, what next? They gonna end terribly, but who cares?
Nothing beats it.
Ain't no
right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4.
I always say that I'm a retard because I am. I definitely lock that door and put the key somewhere safe because if it wants to act up, I can always go get that key and unlock that door. You're not gonna like the outcome, so.
And this is why men just swim away. Swim away. Swim away. Swim away. Enough foolishness. Anytime you start to act up, I gotta show you who I am. And the best way that I can show you who I am is by going out there and degrading myself. Is by going out there and trying to really put it on you. It's funny how modern women try to say that men do this weaponized incompetence thing, or they know what they're doing. They try to really push your buttons and they go and do something weird. It's, oh, we don't do anything out of spite. Then they go and do things like this. The first thing you think of, instead of leaving Instead of getting out of a situation where somebody's disrespecting you, you say, instead of me holding myself to a certain standard, I'm going to go out there and degrade myself and then say, look what I did. I went out there and degraded myself. What do you think? I think you're an idiot, is what I think, actually. You have a blessed life. I'm going to go ahead and pack my stuff and leave.
Okay, he's perfect, but he comes to like stay at the house and meet the parents for the first time. And he like doesn't do any dishes, like doesn't offer to like help or clean up at all.
That's tough. I mean, I think first time it might be okay. He's nervous. He doesn't know what to do. So I give him like a second visit. But on second visit, no pitching in. I gotta wonder about that.
Yeah, bad. We don't like that.
Some dudes in the comments said, when I invite someone over as a guest, I don't expect them to clean up. Another dude seconded this. Expecting a guest to clean up is wild. If he's a guest, why would he? If I invited a woman over to my place and I'm cooking for her, I'm probably going to clean as well. If she offers to help, great, but there is definitely not an expectation, and I'm not going to be asking, because hey, I'm taking care of everything. You're good. You're at my place. I'm hosting you. Take it easy. That's it. Again, where is the entitlement coming from? Why am I even asking that question with her mom sitting right beside her? It's coming from you. You're the one sitting up here validating this type of stuff. You know better. At your age, you know better.